Our next guest on Let's Talk is Tiffany Calloway. She's the Director of Community Development, and that's a new title within the city of Jonesboro, although we didn't add a position. What exactly is a Director of Community Development?
It's a very good question, Bill, and thank you for having me on your show today. Traditionally, within the city, the role was grant administrator. Mayor Perrin is very innovative, as you know, and he felt the need to have someone on staff who could go out in the community and be a voice for the city, go out and find innovative projects, go out and also find innovative funds and resources to help with community projects. And so that's why he created the Director of Community Development. I have a really great staff to work with day in and day out in the Community Development Division, and one staff member is Angie, who handles our Community Development Block Grant Funds. Jonesboro is very fortunate to be an entitlement city, meaning that we're one of 13 cities in the state that get our funding directly from HUD. Every other city has to go through AEDC and apply for funding, but we're very fortunate that on a yearly basis we get about $580,000 in fund where we can do projects to benefit low to moderate income individuals. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. And one of the programs that Angie handles is our home rehabilitation program. And what she can do with that funding is help with rehabs of homes for homeowners. We do have a waiting list right now of about 21 individuals, but I'm so excited that I'll be hiring someone on really soon on staff to help Angie clear that waiting list. But we have funding available for that. So if anyone's interested, please reach out to our office to learn more about the home rehabilitation program.
That's great. That's great because the grants are a key part of the things the city can offer. As the mayor has tried to drill into people's head, we can't keep Jonesboro a first-class city on sales tax dollars alone.
Exactly.
Even though we need the sales tax dollars, that's 70% of our income, but grants kicks in a large chunk of the rest of it.
It does, yeah.
And you guys do a great job of getting those for the city. Just listening to the description, it sounds like it takes somebody with a lot of energy. I think from the 6 months I've known you, you could fit that bill.
Well, Mayor Perrin has a lot of energy, and I feed off his. And so for any individual of his age who can go in and get up at the crack of dawn and work to the end of day, he makes it very challenging, but I'm up for the task.
Tiffany, tell me a little bit about your background. You're an ASU graduate, you're an Arkansas native, you know nothing about how to eat tofu.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I have been a resident of Jonesboro for the past 15 years. I graduated from Watson Chapel High School, wanted to stay in-state, didn't want to get too far away from home, so I chose Arkansas State University. Great college to attend right here in our state. So while I was in college, one of the cool things that I was able to do is I was elected a Student Government Association president. And what we noticed is that we had nowhere to really work out on campus. So myself and my Student Government Association, we wrote a resolution in 2006 to construct a new wellness facility on the campus of Arkansas State University with a $5 per credit fee. Now, faculty, they were not sold to the idea, but the students supported it. And in 2010, we opened the new Red Wolf facility. So that's a really exciting achievement.
Very
and to
nice.
this day, students, they go visit the rock climbing wall, they go work out in the gyms, they play basketball, and I'm really excited about that project.
And that probably showed you really what you could actually accomplish with determination and effort and
Never take no for an answer is what
exactly
what I learned from that project, and it's what carried me forth in my career path. I worked in Governor Beebe's administration and boards and commissions, and that was a great learning opportunity. There I saw how economic development truly worked. From Governor Beebe's office, I went over to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, and I served as a community development director for Northeast Arkansas, and that's where I really got to know Mayor Perrin. Mayor Perrin is one of the most innovative mayors I got to work with day in and day out. I covered an area of 23 counties, working with local elected officials and county judges on economic development projects. From there, I went to the Delta Regional Authority and worked with Chris Massengale, covering the states of Arkansas and Tennessee. And I got to work with Governor Hutchinson on economic development projects for the counties, for the 54 counties in Arkansas that were a part of the Delta Regional Authority.
Well, one thing I've noticed that you and of course the mayor have in common, there are many things, but you do know how to connect the dots. You do. And there are a lot of dots to connect in government, and so you know where to turn, what resources are needed.
What's interesting is, I actually borrowed this phrase from a colleague at AADC. In community development, economic development, it's a lot of R&D. You think it's research and development. No, it's rob and duplication. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are so many communities all over America that are suffering, and there are so many others who've already solved those problems that those other communities are suffering and going through. So really, Mike Downing has been really innovative since he's come to Jonesboro.
Who is Mike Downing?
Mike Downing is the vice president of Jonesboro Unlimited, and he has organized several community visits to other areas. And what that does is it shows Jonesboro what other communities are doing to be successtional. And again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Do a little R&D.
That's right. Rob and develop.
Rob and duplicate.
Duplicate. Rob. Why not just rob? It's a lot easier. But the great thing about that too is we're looking at places outside of Arkansas.
That's it.
You know, and I lived in several states, and everybody wants to compare themselves to other cities within their own state. We're looking beyond that, and it's going to make Jonesboro a leader in a lot of categories, I think.
And Mike Downing uses another phrase: think big. We have to think big.
Think big.
Yeah.
That's right. I think you have already begun certain tasks, and one of them is a veterans village.
Yeah, it's a really cool, innovative project that we've been working on in the city along with Beck Pride. They have agreed to partner with us on this grant application. There's funding that has become available through the National Housing Trust Fund. ADFA, the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, is the state administrator of the program. They will be releasing a notice of funds availability really soon, and so we will be making an application for the funding of that project. And what it is funding strictly for the construction of veteran homes.
And so this is what we're looking at when we're talking about this. We're talking about the homeless because it's been an issue for a few years in the city, a growing need to serve the homeless. Is a disproportionate number of homeless, are they veterans?
So out of the 6,000 veterans who are living in Craig County, less than 1,000 have been identified as homeless.
But that's more than just the usual. That's more than any other occupation.
That's
so
correct.
what that tells us is, as we already know, veterans have been through a rough time. When you serve your country, you have been through a tough time, and these are the last people that should have to worry about homelessness and the basic necessities.
Exactly right.
So your plan is to provide something that takes care of these people, and a veterans village would consist of?
It would consist of transitional housing. So it's not a permanent living arrangement, but what it would provide is support services, financial literacy, case management, and all of that will be decided and handled by Beck Pride. So they are the perfect partners for this particular project. Right now, what's happening in Craig County, if Beck Pride or any other veterans organization has a veteran who needs any kind of counseling or services, we have two options. We either send them to Poplar Bluff, Missouri, or to the VA in Memphis. We want something right here in Craig County that can assist our veterans.
And Beck Pride is at Arkansas State University, but tell us a little bit about, a lot of people don't know about Beck Pride.
Beck Pride has been around for many years right on the campus of Arkansas State University. It was founded by Mr. Beck, and they provide all types of services for veterans. Most importantly, they assist veterans with their GI Bill and going back to college. But they also provide occupational therapy, social services therapy right there on campus, and they utilize a lot of student interns to run their program.
And you and I and the mayor and several others met with some veterans who have been served by Beck Pride, and it's really touching. And they talk about it as essentially saving their lives. You know, not from a health standpoint, but from a resource and opportunity standpoint.
Yeah, we were just at Beck Pride a few weeks back with Senator Bozeman, and that was a really eye-opening experience to sit in that room and listen to the stories those veterans told. One particular story that stuck with me was of a veteran who was literally, he said he was an alcoholic, and Miss Linda Nash in the Beck Pride Center literally saved his life and his family's life. We also heard of the story from another veteran who had a wife who was pregnant, and he didn't have any resources or anywhere to go. And he talked about how Veterans Village would have benefited he and his family.
And we have toured other cities that have done this. I think Kansas City is a really good example. And tell me what you saw in Kansas City.
So Kansas City, we visited the Veterans Community Project. It was an organization started by 3 vets who canvassed the community and saw no service provider that was strictly for veterans. And what I saw were 3 veterans who wanted to make a difference, and they really have. And they've done it through all private funding. There's not one federal dollar attached with their program. And so they're literally building a veterans village as well there. They're providing social services, they're providing counseling, they're providing all sorts of support for veterans regardless of how they were disconnected from the military. And that's one thing that I'm really impressed with them. It doesn't matter if the veteran was dishonorably discharged or not, they're still getting the services there. There's no time frame for them to live at that village either. They can stay 6 months, they can stay a year. That's all decided by the case manager they're assigned.
And you know the thing that struck me about that, Tiffany, I think soldiers are used to subjugating themselves for the greater good of whatever, and they're used to being told no when they want something. And these people, these are veterans who run this operation in Kansas City, and it was quite evident that these are guys who don't take no for an answer.
That's correct.
And I think Linda and the people at Beck Pride have that same attitude, and we want whoever, I don't think you can tell me where we are in organizing this, but I don't think these people are going to be people who take no for an answer, because they are going to fight to the finish to help the veterans.
You're very correct in that. They have a great relationship with our congressional representation right now. They're consistently knocking on their doors, calling, looking for funding for Beck Pride Center. They don't take no for an answer.
Now there is a faction of people who want to take care of the homeless, love their veterans, but may be a little leery of what's going on. So how do we make people aware of that this is not something that's going to be a negative in your neighborhood? You know what I mean? I don't know what the fear is. It's NIMBY is an acronym, not in my backyard. But what have we got lined up?
Or cavemen, Citizens Against Virtually Everything. Well, what we plan to do is to hold public hearings. Obviously, we don't have all the information yet from ATVA. We're waiting on the NOFA to be released. We're expecting for that to be released sometime in April. But here in the next coming month, sometime in March, Beck Pride in the city will be holding public hearings, public forums to solicit that public input. Now, what we have already done thus far is reach out and talk to the veterans right here in our community. We've heard their concerns. We've heard that we need family housing, and that's why we've already identified 2 units of the 10 to be family housing. So we'll hold public hearings. We'll reach out to whatever neighborhood we decide to put Veterans Village in. We'll reach out to those residents. We'll do door knocking campaigns. We will make sure we do the education component up front.
Very nice. So you've got a plan. Do we have a timeline?
Well, again, the NOFA should be available in April. Once that is released, applications will be due 45 days from that date. And they're looking to make awards in fall. Based on HUD standards, we have 18 months to construct the village, which I propose we could get that done pretty quickly here in Jonesboro. And so we're looking forward to seeing Veterans Village open next year, 2019.
That's great. You know, we are a very giving city. We're a volunteer city of the year in Arkansas right now, and I think this is something that we've got good partners to make happen. I think we're thinking big these days, and one of the reasons in the city of Jonesboro is Tiffany Calloway. So, Tiffany, thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.